The Viking Raiders and the Street Profits had round 2 of Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better. This played out throughout the episode in a variety of skits. Some were actually really, really funny. Some of the bits I was genuinely laughing. This was much, much better than the basketball stuff last week, which was, I just thought, just painfully awkward and didn't actually make much dramatic sense by the end of it. But here we had the Viking Raiders. The Street Profits going to meet the Viking Raiders at this sort of LARPing convention where everyone's dressed up in
LARPing as well.
In Viking regalia with the tents and the fire, and they're going to do some axe throwing.
I did laugh when they said, "You keep saying you want the smoke, so we brought you smoke. It's a fire."
Yeah, well, at one point they said, "Oh, we've brought too much smoke. Let's take a few logs off." And there was some like really, really funny bits where Dawkins is going to throw the axe, and he starts going off at loads of different people, distracting him, and he says, "Even the horse is clowning me around." And it cuts to this horse that's right next to the board where they're throwing and stuff, and it was this really surreal humor. Like, it was WWE has done this a bit since going no fans. They just decide to make Adult Swim content every now and again. and this was one of them. There's some great liners in here. Dawkins goes, "This is nothing like Thor."
Yeah. My line was when Ford's got it and he starts to do some golf swings. He's like, "I need to get my Tiger Woods on," and Hanson just goes, "A tiger in the woods? Where?"
It's just goofy, funny stuff. And just like when they have the final skit or the final match, really, with the axe throwing, it's time for the games to begin. And it goes down this row of Vikings, and someone steps into the middle of them. They've got a giant horn, and they just go, and it cuts. It was really, really weirdly good.
Yeah,
but
none of them were social distancing.
Yeah. It's outside. I'm sure that's like a carte blanche, right? But it didn't work on a multitude of fundamental levels.
All right. So I was thinking about this. I'm not a comedian, right? I'm not a comedian. I'm not a funny guy. But I do know in comedy there is a thing that is called setup and payoff, right? And the whole setup of this is the same as last week's one, which is that the Viking Raiders pretended to be rubbish at basketball. So the Street Profits think that they're better than them. And it turns out the Viking Raiders are actually good at basketball. So they sort of show them up a little bit. Didn't work last week either. But that's what they were going to do here again. So Viking Raiders are wicked at axe throwing. They're getting bullseyes all the time, getting loads of bullseyes. The Street Profits are missing them, wildly missing them, going all over the place, going nowhere. And then when it comes down to the final one, a police car shows up. And the police get out because they've got an axe through their windshield. So they come out to be like, who threw the axe? And the Viking Raiders point to the Street Profits and say, it was them. They did it. Don't want to be in trouble with the law. They're the ones that threw the axe. And so Dawkins proves that it couldn't have been them because he's awesome at axe throwing. And he throws the axe and he hits a bullseye. Right? Okay, you think, cool. So the punchline now is that the Street Profits get arrested because for whatever reason. But they don't. The police officer just says, don't throw axes. You're cute. Not so much you. And then leaves. There was no payoff to any of the setup.
Even the basic version of that setup where, the Street Profits are good at axe throwing. They reveal that after losing the match. That doesn't work. We said that last week. They did the same thing last week. It doesn't work. I got really excited when the police car turned up because I thought we were going to get a holy grail because it was so bonkers. I thought we were going to get the ending of Monty Python's Holy Grail where that just, you've got, it's all set in this medieval, not medieval. It's, it is medieval. It's King Arthur.
Arthurian times.
Yeah, Arthurian times. And at the end, when they're just about to get the Holy Grail and the final castle, the police turn up and arrest everyone. It's just, I think that came about because they ran out of money or some silly thing.
That's why they don't have horses. They have That's all they can afford.
But I thought they were going to do that, but no, the only way I can describe this seems like someone came in and rewrote what they thought would be funny, but they don't actually have a sense of humor themselves. Because this is such a basic misunderstanding of what comedy is, and quite a juvenile approach to that. It seemed like a 13-year-old wrote it, but take out all like the sort of penis jokes, I guess. I don't know if Vince suddenly got in the cutting room, but this, I don't think this came from the Street Profits.
It didn't really work in the end. Although there were some funny moments in there, particularly with the Viking Raiders, and kind of like the sort of juxtaposition of the two acts opposite each other. I don't think it didn't work in the end.